but that isn't saying anything. I don't know who this came from, but I'm sure Tatum is going to take this and say, see, look, this video is from after the friends had left. Then they're going to allegedly probably send it to TMZ. TMZ going to come out with their little articles and shit and try to spin the whole narrative. But, like I said, God has the last word, y'all.
Oh, we have the Wells police report, and the friends have a little explaining to it. Just a heads up, this is just part one. This is a 15-page police report. For reference, here is the MDMR Marine Patrol police report. You can see the incident report directly up there. It is public record, so you guys can look it up. I want to point your attention to two specific areas of this report, starting right here. And here is the first discrepancy right here. Dispatch said that her 18-year-old son rode to Horn Island on a vessel with friends. He was last seen around $1,500. Here's the discrepancy. His phone was in a friend's truck. I'm sorry, I thought all the friends said that the phone was still in the boat. And the second discrepancy is right here. Lieutenant Karen said that his deputies had spoke with several friends and traveled to the island on the vessel with Nolan, and they said that he left with the company of an unknown female. I'm sorry, what do you mean an unknown female? You all knew who Katie McCormick was and is.
Not too
what
many.
do you mean an unknown female? You all knew exactly who he was on the island.
Between these two athletes.
They were very clear about it. They knew who he was on the island. But here they're saying, we don't know who she was. We know who the girl. All of a sudden, she went from having a name of Katie McCormick with all the recent media coverage on the scene. But in the original police report, it was an unknown female.
Then I started to think, did the stepmother, who is a judge, coach them into not saying the name or mentioning Mark's name or Katie's name? Because as of late, we got the picture of Clark and Katie called up.
He knows how to get you on before you even stepped in the ring, before you even lace up the gloves, before you even got in the dressing room. Tyson Fury knows what to do to get under your skin. You make them hate him, love him, dream about him. So then, your life is his life. He's got the number. He's brilliant. And you saw how he did Koala in fight 1, fight 2, and fight 3. And the same thing's happening all over again. Will Wilder ever know? Will he ever learn his lesson? I believe him. Because Tyson Fury, that's what he did.
Can they figure out the combination to this safe?
Perfectly matched. Skill for skill. Tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you. And so I've got to respect both of them more than you could.
He threw a punch and just got countered. Well done with that counter shot. So much for boxing. This is a fist fight. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Let's talk about Fury in that last round. The game plan does not seem to be working here. What does he have to do differently? We've just taken a big breath, and here we go again. So the fight will continue. How do they turn things around?
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart. Be sharp. Don't be a fool. Don't get suckered in. Make him fight your fight. Hold him, tie him up just until your head clears again and your legs come back again. Because if you don't, he's going to pop you off.
He misses with that jab. Catch and shoot. Offense all the time. There's so much pre-fight and social media drama, I can't believe we're actually in the midst of them fighting.
I can walk into an arena, be the hero, the pressure, the expectation, the desire from the fans. You can't get away from it. Ignore them. Lock it up. I know it's hard. I can hardly hear you, Todd. You've got to ignore them. Get on with your job.
Back and forth they go. Neither fighter willing to back down.
Skill for skill. Tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven.
Listen, I just want to know
Just missing with the uppercut.
Nobody is drawing attention to that.
That punch has been his best weapon all fight long. They exchange punches. Deontay Wilder rocked right now. He's in some serious trouble.
It's y'all's fault. Now, what y'all
And the
boys out
bronze
there
bomber
pushing?
goes down. I don't care who you are. When you get caught with a body
What's
shot
really
like
going
that,
on down there?
you're
She
going
has
down.
been cooking. She deserves some follows, y'all. I don't know if she have a YouTube, but she is on TikTok as Kimmy's World. Y'all go support this sister here. But I find it very suspicious that the tip line phone number goes straight to the judge. And it makes me believe that what they're doing with those tips is nothing.
You know I'm supposed to be working, but I have to stop to tell y'all this. Civil rights attorney Ben Trump has sent out litigation letters to each and every person who was around Roman Wells during his disappearance. And these letters are warning them that they are every single text message, Snapchat, photo,
Beautiful counter shot.
any evidence that will be used in this case. And if you ask me, those kids should have already been arrested and detained until we have answers. But at least this attorney is taking the necessary steps to try to preserve any evidence. I know they're trying to spin this narrative that Nolan was wrong, but baby, Lauren already messed that up. He said that Nolan was. This media glitch that people like Norman and Tristan are out here doing isn't working in the public. We don't believe it. And that smear campaign that TMZ is on, we definitely don't believe that one. These kids may have lawyered up already and deleted their social media, but baby, let me tell you,
So this was an unexpected turn of events. What
and
happens
when this
next?
case gets cracked, they are going to be held.
That's my daughter in a truck here in East County, Pennsylvania. Yeah, 3 million views as of this morning. The comments are exactly what you think they are. She got her license 3 weeks ago. And let her take the truck to grab groceries. Her first real solo drive. She didn't see the Lamborghini for her yet. It sits 6 inches off the ground. And we never even noticed this far. She rolled into it like it wasn't there. The guy parked next to her was filming. He caught the whole thing. Yeah, that's how it went viral. For the first 24 hours, we thought we were just going to file the claim and write it out. Then the messages started.
Nobody home with
DMs in 48 hours. And I got my own call too. And the messages were brutal. Hope you have good coverage, lol. Your kid just totaled my dream car. Your premium is about to look like a mortgage payment. And the worst one was just prepare for the worst. Friends I hadn't talked to in 10 years suddenly resurfaced with the same question.
What's the most liable, the number one, and the main reason
corner handles their fighter here
saying
after
that
being dropped twice in
18-year-old
that last round.
was truly seen after 6 p.m. is because we haven't
Here
heard
we
that
go
from
to the fourth
18-year-old
round.
Nolan Wells.
They barely
At least I
survived the
have not
last
seen
round
that. If
after
anybody's
2
seen that from
knockdowns.
18-year-old
Let's see what
Nolan
happens
Wells,
here.
that she posted that there's food fighting after 6 p.m. that's been confirmed to be 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Please let me know where that's at. But if you have not seen that, then I don't believe it. Because Nolan Wells has done a wonderful job of letting everybody know about that timeline, saying, hey, there's a picture that we can see with Nolan after 4:34 p.m. So anytime that she received any new details that she felt like it may have really been 18-year-old Nolan Wells, she's came out and added that timeline so everybody will have that timeline. So therefore, people will start looking for times after that time to see if they saw 18-year-old Nolan Wells. And again, it still doesn't make any sense that Lucas is allegedly that person that said that he saw 18-year-old Nolan Wells after 6 p.m. Due to the fact that inside that same clip that he did his interview, we saw Jay Bond in there as if they're alleging that Jay Bond was with Lucas to and from the island. So if Jay Bond did ride with Lucas to and from the island, how would the dad still be on the island at 6 p.m. if Jay Bond was said to leave before
Halfway through the round, and it's
in
pretty
fact,
much even
somebody
Steven.
came out and said that they were Jay Bond's ride and that Jay Bond left out with them, and this was shortly after 4. But then you and the Olympics saying that
It's always coming.
Stayed on their phone checking on Tracy Shepard allegedly to post a time for them to leave, which was around 5 p.m. Also,
believe Lucas.
Punch,
You
counter
can believe
punch.
Lucas if you would like to believe Lucas in my personal opinion. He's a liar. In my personal opinion, he's only came out and said things that he
Would
said to
not
try
want
to
to be
help,
hit
to
by this
cover
guy.
up for.
Trust me.
Yes, absolutely. I could be wrong. This is just my opinion. I want everybody to
They
remember
better
that
start
this is my
respecting each
opinion.
other's punching
I
power.
absolutely don't believe that they have any
You
idea
know the
this is the
scorecards
18
are
year
going to be
old
all
Wells after
over the
6
place
p.m.
in this
From
one.
the very first moment that the search for Nolan Wells began, and everyone was looking for answers, why in the hell these two people allegedly are the witnesses wait 20-something days later to say that they saw Nolan Wells after 6 p.m.? It doesn't make sense, and I remember
My motto is, if
people
it's not
do
broken,
get
why
paid off
change
to
it?
say
An
things,
excellent last
allegedly.
round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Let's call everybody out. If we're going to call and point out, then why the kids out when there are discrepancies in their stories? Why aren't you calling that man out for going on that break and allegedly not feeding on what he previously said? Why aren't you calling out the
How about that time counter shot? Who's willing to go where the other fighter won't? Nice counter shot. So much for boxing. This is a fight. Got him there. Halfway through the round, and there's not a lot separating these two.
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than nothing.
One punch could end this fight for either of these two heavyweights.
I've never seen a fighter so fast in my life. How do you deal with this?
And down goes Fury. What a knockout headshot. Let's watch it again. And they knew it when they threw it. Even
The weapons of our warfare
10 seconds to go, and what domination we've seen in this round.
To the pulling down of strongholds. The news just came out and tried to back up everything that TMZ was saying. They tried to come out and lean on Nolan Wells was drunk and stayed at the alley. These are strongholds that we're going to need God for. All my prayer warriors, all my spiritual help. If you don't even believe in the Most High, and you support Nolan Wells, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to meditate. For all my prayer warriors, y'all get in that closet, y'all know what to do. Because these people are working day and night, losing sleep, trying to figure out how they're going to wiggle their way through this. And blame the Nolan Wells for his own unaliveness. But we know what the hell is up. They even had a nerve on ABC to play the audio.
There's nothing quite like a big heavyweight fight. Everything can change with one punch.
Some fighters are just gifted with such hand speed, footwork, movement. They are gifted. They are the chosen few.
Swing and a miss with that jab.
And chop out the parts where we heard what we heard in the background. These are the strongholds, y'all. These people have a stronghold on us because most people think when they come out and say something, most people take it as facts. Why? Because they have white man Christ in their head. Because they have a white man God in their head. So when they see white people on the news saying something, they take it as a fact. These are the strongholds that we must have
with just 10
down,
seconds to
y'all.
go.
And we don't have to use weapons. Why? Because God is on our side. Y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it.
Let's talk about Fury in that last round.
Y'all get in the comment section.
Point,
y'all let me know what y'all think about our sisters supporting their brothers, because this is what they don't want. They want for us to continue with the gender war. They do not want our sisters standing up for our brothers, because they know when that happens, it's a wrap. They cannot stand our sisters snapping on their ass. That irritates them. When our sisters stand up and start snapping, they hate that shit. That would drive them the hell away. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this new video of Nolan Wells in the water. You know they want to say that that's after 6 p.m., right? They want to say that's well after when Nolan Wells' fake friends had left, right? But that ain't going to do nothing. Everything that they're coming out with, trust me, God is going to make a way where they're going to have to eat every word, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all subscribe. Big Kish, signing out.
Gloves up, the guard high, paying dividends as it seems that moment of trouble has passed.
Defense is everything, because they got shot once, they know they can get caught again. So for now, just defense, work on defense, blocking and stopping and shooting.
Halfway through the round, I'm not sure who's winning it.
I guess
Skill for skill, tap for tap. Start the match made in heaven.
With Nancy Grace, which streams new episode weekdays on Fox 1.
Imagine seeing this punch coming
straight shooter, the one and only.
This
Nancy Grace. How are you? How's everything, Nancy?
Thank you for inviting me. That's a very tough question, because all day long I investigate and analyze murder and mayhem. Very often, Mr. Smith, I have people ask, why don't you smile on TV? Wouldn't that be odd for me to smile in the course of reporting on a dead young man or missing child?
Referee says we will fight on. Not sure about this one.
He's up.
Not the best of rounds with 10 seconds to go.
That's a lot. That's a lot of reasons we have no question about that. Let's get right to this case involving Nolan Wells. You've been all over this case right now. Just as a reminder to the audience, Wells is the 18-year-old college football player from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. He was on the boat July 4th with a group of friends and traveled by private boat to Horn, an uninhabited barrier island off the Mississippi coast. Wells was the only black person to show reported on the boat when the friends returned to the mainland. Nolan was the only one who did not make it back. Talk to me about this story, Nancy, and what do you make of it at this particular moment in time?
Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now.
And I do not understand, Stephen, the demands
These are heavyweights, but I tell you what, that hand speed and footwork, they look like middleweights.
Is it possible
Tell the mind of the chin, take the mind of protecting anything around that.
Yes, it's possible. Is it possible that there was foul play? Yes, that is possible. And I don't believe the investigation should be shut down until we know the answer to that. I have 2 children. So, the age
and as you can see here, a picture-perfect punch
I would be
did the
lying
trick.
on the courthouse steps, screaming for justice if the investigation into a death related to them was shut down before I had answers. So I don't understand where all the hate is coming.
Who specifically is calling for the shutdown of the investigation?
This fight will continue, but how can they get back into this bout?
Number of people, thousands of people that think that, but this is an accidental trapping. Why are you doing this? You're a race baiter. You're filling the blank. This has nothing to do with what color his skin was. This has to do with an unanswered question during my prosecutorial career. I very often was the only white person in the courtroom. That has nothing to do with Lady Justice.
Final 10 seconds here, unless we get
Lady
some late
Justice
drama. I think
what
we all
justice
know who won
demands
this
is a
one.
full and fair investigation. And I'm also not saying that's not going on, because my boss, Lewis Slate, the longest serving elected district at that time, I think it's 27 years. Was like a grandfather to me. He was very strict, no one to speak to the press. It could ruin the case. I always had the same answer when asked. I believe a Fulton County jury will render a verdict that speaks the truth. Because I do believe that. We are not owed an explanation for law enforcement as to what they are doing. However, there are a lot of questions, specifically, Stephen, regarding the autopsy. The initial autopsy has remained under seal. We don't know what the answer was. The family, understandably, sent Nolan's body hundreds of miles away for a second opinion. When that doctor got the body, the lungs and the throat were missing. I understand why the lungs were missing, because this could have been a drowning case. But why the throat? What was there about Nolan's throat that piqued the interest of the original medical examiner? That leads me to speculate. Was there bruising? Was the hyoid bone fractured? Was it broken? Was it dislodged? Is there possibly bruising on the strap muscles? Is it indicative of a blow? We know on the back of the head, that's your occipital bone on the back of your head, about where your hairline would start, that there is deep red discoloration in the subcutaneous tissue. What? Is it from a blow? Is it from effusion of the blood post-mortem? I don't know. But none of it is good. So I need answers before any investigation is going to be shut down.
What do you make of those who have said, I remember Officer Tatum, a conservative podcaster, very popular, over 3 million subscribers. He's been on the warpath going down, talking to some of the people that were there with Nolan Wells, white individuals. He's saying that evidence is showing that when they departed, Nolan Wells was alive, and you know what, they may have had absolutely positively nothing to do with this. The evidence shows that. Is that your finding, that the evidence shows that the people being, with allegations being thrown in their direction, the suspicions that have been raised by these people that were in attendance with Nolan Wells, that they should be, they have been proven or found to not have been around even when he was still alive? Is your findings consistent with anything along that verbiage with what people are saying about these kids that were with him?
No, I don't know the answer to that. They say Nolan chose to stay behind because he got a girl he wanted to talk to named Katty. That girl has spoken through her sister, we are told, and she says Nolan told her, I'm going back with my friends. So, who am I supposed to believe? I don't know for a fact that what the boys are saying is true. I don't know for a fact that what the boys are saying is false. I do know they called Seatow, S-E-A, second word T-O-W, and said that their vessel sank.
Come on, you're better than that. Get your mind back on the job. It was a god-awful round, I tell you. Now, come on. You're way better than that guy. You've let him back into the...
Great round. Now, relax. Just stay focused.
Get your boxing back together and get back out there and ring around.
That was doctored. I don't know if it's real. I do know this. He went to Horn Island with them. They came back alive. He's dead. I'm going to investigate. You darn right I'm going to investigate. And my wish is that his friends are innocent and that this was an accident. But it will be a cold day in H-E-double-L that I endorse closing down an investigation because somebody said, I have nothing to do with that. What? They must just go, oh, okay, case closed, forget about it, and go tell the mom we're shutting down the investigation because so-and-so said he had nothing to do with it.
Have you received any indication from law enforcement that that is their intent, that their desire is to close down this investigation? Have you received any indication like that at all?
If you got hit, even as a passenger or in an Uber, you need to try this. I'm an attorney. I've been doing this for years. And I'm standing here because most people walk away from accidents leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table, and nobody tells them. Look at this. This is a real settlement. One of our clients, a car accident here, almost a year after when he came to us. Most people assume they missed their shot. They think that it was too long ago. My injuries weren't that bad. I don't know if it's worth it. That's exactly what the insurance company wants you to think. Here's what they don't tell you. If you were injured in a car accident in the last year, Phil, even if you were a passenger, even if the accident seemed minor damage, you may still be owed serious money. Now, I know what you're thinking. You've thought about hiring an attorney before, but you didn't because nobody gave you a straight answer. Nobody told you how much your case was actually worth. Yeah. You couldn't get clarity, so you did nothing. Yeah. That's not your fault, but I want to fix that right now. There's a 15-second quiz, completely free, where you answer a few simple questions about your accident. What happened, what your injuries were, who was at fault, and it gives you an instant quote.
What are you doing?
No, and that emboldens me. That emboldens me because so far they haven't finalized this thing. As a matter of fact, the other day, a female journalist got a hold of law enforcement, the sheriff. He wouldn't answer any questions, which he should not have. And he stated that all questions were to be directed to the district attorney's office. I expect what they'll do is this, Stephen. I expect that they will call in a grand jury. A grand jury has two purposes. It can be a charging grand jury. I've presented hundreds of cases to grand juries to get an indictment. It can also be an investigative arm. It can subpoena documents. It can call for witnesses. It can question them. It's an investigative, a fact-finding grand jury. They may do that, or they may be able to do it on their own without calling in a grand jury. But I believe that law enforcement will do the right thing. Much has been made of the fact that Crump, who is representing Nola's family, turned down a request, an offer to bring on scent dogs and cadaver dogs to the boat. Well, I've got to just swat that down right now. Crump, for the Wells family, doesn't have the authority to allow anybody on that boat. It's not their boat. I've also learned through the grapevine that the boat has been searched. I would like to get my hands on that GPS nav system. I would like to find out if cadaver dogs were brought onto the boat. I would like to get hold of Katty and question her. And I would like to ask each one of the boys separately what happened. And I'd like to give them a polygraph. Is that so wrong? That's what I would be doing right now.
Nancy, I don't think it's wrong at all. And with those questions that you're asking, I think all of those are very important, very, very significant questions that need to be answered. What's the resistance to getting those answers? Is it law enforcement saying it's an ongoing investigation, you're not entitled to know things until we tell you to? Is it the family getting in the way? Is it the Wells family picking and choosing who they want to investigate matters, and they're interfering in their own way? What's this mess that seems to have been made of this case? Where does fault lie, if any at all, in your estimation, as to what's impeding progress in this investigation from taking place?
Stephen, I believe a lot of people desire controversy. I think that there are people out there that want to spin it out for their own gains, be it fame, be it money. And I cannot relate to that. I'm a crime victim. I'm a victim of violent crime. My fiance was murdered shortly before our wedding. It changed my life and my family's life forever. It even affects me now, how I raise my children every day. I can't lay fault at the family's feet. I can't do that. I think that hate, racial hate, is being stirred. The pot is being stirred. And people are coming out. I looked at my Twitter the other day. I wish I had. With the worst slurs. They're not, usually people will try to hide it. They're putting it in writing. It's just anger and hate, and it's boiled up in the form of this case. And I pray to God that we will get justice regardless, notwithstanding all the hate. I don't know where it's coming from. I can't identify with that. But I can tell you this, we're not letting go till we have an answer.
Your thoughts on the Wells family? Some people wanted to point the finger at them, and I found that to be, I just find it to be wrong. I'm not looking at the family who lost their son or lost their sibling. I'm not looking at them. I'm not trying to look at them in any negative way. But there are people that have looked at Trump's presence.
What do you do?
Civil rights attorney. Obviously, he's represented white clients as well as black clients in the past. The family brought him in. They brought up Al Sharpton eulogizing Nolan Wells at the funeral. They brought up these kind of things to say that, you know, the family, if not the family, those connected to the family, are stoking these thoughts that you just articulated. That's a very, very big concern to you. What are your thoughts about that when the Trumps of the world, the Al Sharptons of the world, even though he just eulogized him at the funeral, he's not necessarily involved in the legal process, their involvement in something like this, what does that do for or against the case in your estimation based on your experience reporting on these potential crimes, allegations involved in such things?
I don't care. I care about one thing. What happened to Nolan Wells? I don't care if Al Sharpton is stirring the pot. I don't care what people say, the rocks they throw, the slings and the arrows. Don't care. That does not dissuade me from finding out what happened. Now, sometimes people seek refuge. How do I know the family didn't know who to contact? How do I know Trump or Sharpton didn't contact them? And they said, yes, help me, please. Maybe they thought an injustice was going down. I don't know why they chose Trump. I don't know why they chose Sharpton, but I can tell you this is not a Miss Congeniality contest. Nobody's going to get crowned with sweet potato at the end of this. Everyone will get hate mail, everyone is going to get threats, and everybody will be disliked. But in the end, we may find out what happened to Nolan Wells. So, go ahead, sling mud, attack Sharpton, attack Trump, attack me, attack the family, attack the boys that were out there that day. For all I know, they're going past the polygraph. I don't know that. But I do know I don't have answers, and a young man the age of my son and my daughter is
you want
dead.
to win this fight? You done all that work in camp. You got to get out there and switch on. Get your boxing back together.
Of individuals like that, based on your experience, assist in expediting the process to get closer to you. That's what I'm talking specifically.
I think it does, and I'll tell you why. Whether you like Sharpton, the holes in others, you don't care. It's what every TV is turned on this case because of Trump and Sharpton. Cases I've investigated, nobody cares. So for everyone, nobody knows their names. Nobody cares. But because those two jump on bandwagons, it's dropping on the bandwagon, which is true. Now there's folks who know what's case. And say,
authorities have said they suspect.
It's absolutely
Buddy, what are you doing? Come on, switch on. Switch on. Come on, you're switching on. You got complacent. This fight's not over yet.
How do you feel about authorities coming out without the investigation being completed? I'm thinking about your former boss, who's like a grandfather to you, that told you don't go to the media until it's absolutely necessary. Timing is everything, etc., etc. I'm looking at authorities coming out and saying they suspect drowning. I think that's a very presumptive statement coming out of their mouth. What did you say?
I don't think there should have been any comment at all. If they have to say something, It should have been along the lines of, we are investigating the case to our fullest ability, and we are open to any information, any help that we can get, and we will find the truth, God willing. I think that's what they would have said. Maybe they did suspect drowning at the beginning, but they should have kept the pie hole shut, because we don't know that it was drowning. Now, the fact that the first ME took the lungs suggests to me that there may have been water in the lungs. That doesn't mean foul play was not involved. I don't even know it wasn't hit on the head, thrown over the side. Do I think that's what happened? I don't think anything one way or the other until I have the facts. His friends could be completely innocent, or they may know more than they're telling. We have to find that out.
And the only way to do it is by applying pressure. And in my estimation, the authorities being a bit presumptuous and ahead of the curve and saying they suspect drowning and articulating that, it's almost like their wish was to aim you in a different direction, and the direction towards innocent for these boys, because why would authorities come out so quickly and just say such a thing? That's just my thinking. But I'll ask you this as well. Your thoughts real quickly about the independent autopsy compared to the original autopsy. Your thoughts about that, if any at all?
Well, I've got plenty of thoughts, Stephen. Plenty of thoughts. First of all, they both are inconclusive. I don't have the first result, so I don't know. The second one is deemed inconclusive. Why? Because the second examiner does not have the throat or the lungs. So a full investigation and autopsy cannot be completed, because this is what they've got to do.
Calm yourself down, calm yourself down. Come on, breathe.
I told you about the red subcutaneous markings under the occipital bone.
Yes.
All right? Now, how do I know that's not from a blow to the head? Okay, how do I know that's not from an accident? We are being told today no one was drinking heavily. Okay. Even somebody drunk can be a homicide victim. Even somebody drunk can be a victim of an accident. That means nothing to me. Everybody out there was drinking. So what, I'm going to be angry because the victim was drinking? Again, this is not a personality contest. It's not a moral test about his character. Bottom line, I need more evidence, because that bruising or hemorrhaging or reddening under the occipital, you got to figure out it's from a blow. Is it from a fall? Is it diffusion? Now, go with me on this. When someone passes away and they're in a specific position, the blood pools. It's called lividity. The blood goes down. Like if I die on my back, my blood will go to the back of my head, my back, my rear end, the back of my legs. Turn me over, it'll go to my front. So, is that pooling of the blood? I got into a full-on argument with a very esteemed medical examiner because he suggested it's pooling of the blood. Then why wasn't it anywhere else? Why wasn't there pooling on his back, on the back of his shoulders, his neck? Why is it just pooling here? So I've got a problem with that theory. Here's a problem with my problem. It's very complicated, Stephen. The neck, if it was injured, is very diffuse with blood. The blood from the jugular and the carotid arteries could diffuse post-mortem and gather there. So what they've got to do is get that tissue, the tissue from Nolan Wells's occipital bone around it. And they've got to look under a microscope and figure out, is this a result of a bruise, or is this diffusion of blood, or something else? See, it's very complicated and very minute. So we need more evidence, is what I'm saying.
I think it's very complicated for the average person out there. I don't think it's that complicated for you. I don't think it's that complicated for a medical examiner. If you have his body and you have that evidence, you look at it and you can see what it is. To me, it just seems...
Enhanced recording fits each of those elements. It creates a documented inconsistency. Y'all not gonna believe.
Be that Power Rule 1560 blowout.
I beat that drip set room banging in the east side, Mountain Mod, Power Rule, RNG, no block, no cut, the record on the OG, Rudiger Roof, and Universal.
Okay, now you let him back into the fight that round. That's his round. Let's go. Come on, you're better than that. You've done all your work all the way. And back. That's it. Winning the round, nothing stupid. Okay, now you're switching off. You started to make mistakes. Okay, focus, focus. Big, deep breaths. Let's do it. Listen, you've switched off. What are you doing? Get your mind back on the job. That's a terrible round, that is. Come on. You've let him... Let's go.
Look for the right angle, there's lazy jab.
What was that? What are you doing? Come on, you're switching off. You got complacent.
Let's do it.
Throwing the ball.